Hello everybody, my name is CyberAqua and welcome back to Fallen Hero Rebirth. It's been a while, actually 2 or 3 weeks now. I'm sorry there wasn't any videos uploaded. A bit of a busy week, you could say. Well, then again, I have a full-time job, so whenever I'm free, I have some time to do recordings. That's why it's only one video per week, or sometimes there's no videos. Do apologize for that. I'm sorry, but hopefully I can make it up to you just by trying to get at least one video up. I hope you guys understand, though my full-time job and everything else in real life are getting a little bit more busy than usual, so yeah, I can't really stop that. So yeah, hope you guys understand about that. And thank you for your patience. Do appreciate for your patience. Thank you for your patience, and let's get into it. I wasted almost a minute into this, so yep. Right, carrying on where I left off, which I barely remember. Probably this, yeah, whatever. I like the fact that Fallen Hero Rebirth saves where I was. So I'm hoping this is the area I start reading. Okay. The void between bodies is a familiar as. Wait, what? The void between bodies is as familiar as it is brief. Vertigo sucks you in as you let it go. As you let go. Okay, I can't. Why am I adding extra words into stuff? Anyway. And you open your eyes somewhere else. No, not your eyes. Boy's eyes. Moving between bodies is more disconcerting than people might think. The body feels different, more differently, moves differently. I mean, no, what is wrong with me? Moves differently, and you need a few moments to adjust it as you awkwardly stand up and stretch away the accumulated in inertia or something. Right outside your window, the sun is slowly rising into what promises to be yet another searing Los Diablos day. Dawn. Not a time that boy is usually awake, unless it is to stumble into bed to fall asleep. Yawning wide, you stumble into the shower. The hot spray keeping to scent. Wait, what? Oh, hold on. Something's in my eye. I can't read properly because it's annoying me so much right now. Give me a moment. Ah, come on out. Is it out? Is it? Is it? I think I'm fine. Okay, where was I? Right, the hot spray helping to center you in your new body. It's strangely freeing not to have to avoid the mirrors. Wait. It's strangely freeing not to have to avoid the mirrors. Wiping away the fog to meet your borrowed face with a wide smile. There's nothing to fear here. Everything inside boy is so much simpler. Mm-hmm. Good. You've got you got you've got enough complications to last you a lifetime. Right? Okay. Bareback. Something's in my eye. It's still annoying me right now. Okay, I'm back. Where was I? Sorry about that. I think it's out now. It was an eyelash in my eye, which was annoying. But yeah, you know those times. Anyway, back into it. Good. You've got enough complications to last you a lifetime. The restless night has not left you unscathed, even in this body. You're filled with a restless energy that needs to be released. You need the gym. You need to you need to hit something hard. That's why you've taken up boxing. Even if boy was never meant to fight in person, he is where you go to get your aggression out in a controlled manner. Physical training was a necessity at first. He was he was in a he was in such a bad shape after being comatose for years that you needed to put in a lot of work to build your new man from the ground up. But after a while, you began to enjoy the process. You can wear short sleeves and undress without a care in the world. Okay, muscle man. When people look at you, you don't know what they are thinking. When you spar with someone, you have to hone your reflexes. No cheating involved. No thoughts or intentions to unravel. Sometimes a little silence goes a long way to keep a body sane. A little silence and a lot of violence. Head to the gym! Right. Finding a good gym wasn't easy. You didn't want to. Wait, you didn't want it to be close enough for someone to follow you home. And it couldn't be popular enough to be crowded. Or so small that you would stick out in the end. No, you would stick out. In the end, you found something you could live with. Even if the place smelled like old, unwashed socks and sweat, you normally come here in the afternoon, and in this early, the place has a completely different feel. The people working out right now seems to be the types to do their training before heading off to a day at the office. A richer, more affluent clientele than you normally see. Not that it matters right now. You don't want interactions, just something to unload on, something safe. You give in to the anger as you punch the sandbag, putting your whole body wait, putting your whole body behind the blows. The gym buzzes around you, but you block everything out so you could be alone with the bag. Better the bag than the dreams. Better the bag than the dead. You wish you could feel more. Part of you feels part of you feels like you should, as if you had lost something more precious than you can remember back in that apartment. Not that it matters. You can't change the past. You can't change the fact that you are here, alive and breathing. While so many people are not, that's all that matters, isn't it? It has to be your sacrifice. It has to be. You've sacrificed too much for it to be a useless gesture. You can't accept that. At least you can still feel angry about it. If anger is your friend, right now the bag is your enemy. It accepts your abuse with indifference and inanimate stand in for who you really want to punch. Ortega for letting me down too many times, Steele for never treating me like one of them, Lady Agenta for thinking I was nobody, Harold for being what I could never be, myself because I was a naive idiot in the past, myself because I know I'm heading down the wrong path, but I can't stop it. Let's go with the second option. Myself because I was naive idiot in the past. I'm getting smarter. I'm getting more intelligent. I'm more of a villain. You were an idiot back when you were still a hero, and you hate that part of you still regret. Wait, and you hate that part of you still regrets what you have become. Minae's face is easily summoned, especially now that you don't have to in look at it in the mirror in the many mirrors of the gym. Sometimes it bothers you that it is so easy to hit yourself, but a little bit of self hatred can be useful at times. So you grit your teeth and pound Minae's face again and again until your hands ache in your gloves. You want to get it all out, the fear, the hatred, the frustration. Your hands are sore, your arms are aching, but you won't stop. You can't stop. Out of breath, with your heart racing, you feel your eyes tearing up. You are not sure why you are crying, and a part of you wants to deny it, but you are. Maybe for lost chances and missed opportunities. Maybe for what you fear you might have. Wait. Maybe for what you fear you might have to do in the future. It's not like you tangle. Your tangle of motivations is easy to unravel. And honestly, you don't care to try. Instead, you step back, burying burying your face in a towel. It smells like sweat and deodorant. The scent of a stranger is familiar to you as your own body. He has spent so much time in the quiet corners of his brain lately. Boy, your sanctuary. Are you alright? The intrusion of another voice into your own inner struggle catches you by surprise, and you look up, eyes red and moist. I'm not sure, you confess, stomach making another turn as you realize the man. Bit of stress, I suppose. You tell Ortega where he stands. Oh, it's Ortega? Holy moly. Completely unaware of who rides inside the skull of the man he is concerned about. Ortega, with his bright smile and fashionable gym clothes, the tar around his neck smelling of sweat. An impossible fluke. You tell yourself, a coincidence? You new around here? I don't think I've seen you before. Your smile is all practice artificial now, okay? And it hides the nervous flutter in your stomach as you wipe the sweat from your face. It feels weird to try and get away with posturing in front of Ortega. This is not a stranger. You know him. You know this man, which makes the act all more important. No, I come here a lot, Ortega says. No, I come here a lot, Ortega says. And you wonder why the smile is so different than when he aimed at you at the dinner dinner table, diner earlier. I can't talk. What's wrong with me? Maybe because this time you maybe because this time you return it. No need to wake up somehow. Coffee rarely does the trick these days. Ah, that's it then. Your proud voice remains calm. Have you been this close to running into each other all this time? I'm usually not here this early, but I needed to get some frustration out today. Bad night. You're not really liking how your neck feels when you have to look up at Ortega from this angle. Was he always this tall? You sometimes compensate for boys' shorter stature with your shoes, but here in the gym, your soles are flat and leave you shorter than you would like. Well, let's hope your bad night might come with a silver lining. Or does that only work for clouds? Ortega smiles again. And you realize that he might be flirting with you. You are not even sure how you feel about that. But right now you encourage it, discourage it. Hmm. So I have to kind of think smart here. Let's be a different person too. Okay, let's go with discouraging it. Mixing metaphors already? Aren't you supposed to be drunk before you have an excuse to do that? You take a drink of water, trying not to smirk at the look of his face as you shoot him down. The thought of that this meeting was just a fluke is rather amusing. It's a testament to the strangeness of life that your paths have come so close to crossing again and again, separated only by the hours of the day. You've got a point there, I suppose, he replies. And for a moment his gaze loses focus as he looks away. Not that I would mind a drink. Got got enough problems already. Oh, you don't ask openly, but your stance shifts to into neutral curiosity, encouraging him to continue. The decision is only half conscious, conscious, conscious or something. This is what you were trained to do before you even struck out on your own. A different kind of sidestep, waving conversations the way you want them to go, making them trust you before you were strong enough to force that trust. It's nothing really. Ortega shakes his head, and and you raise an eyebrow. Try, try talking about it. It's better than a drink this time of day. Trust me. You have no problems faking a smile, encouraging him to open up in return. I suppose that's true. He smiles back. And you know you've succeeded in lowering his guard. It's just that a friend of mine has ended up in some trouble. And I'm trying to work out how to fix things. Oh, don't tell me I get both of like my puppet and myself stuck in this. That'll be annoying. Ah. He actually loses his smile for a moment there, and he realizes he must be taking the whole Lady Argent business harder than he pretended to earlier. He supposes not often he's left standing around feeling helpless. You're one of the good guys then, you ask, not without irony, to take care that much about your friend? You don't have friends who do. The smile is almost sad, and he has no idea his words are hitting a little too close to the mark. I work too much. Of course I do. Let's go with this guy's like, I work too much. Let's go with that. I work too much for a close relationship. You can't hide the scroll, though you try, and even to your own eyes, your voice sounds bitter. Wait, wait. I work too much for close relationships. Ah, okay. I think I said it wrong. Yeah. You can't remember how it feels though when you kept up the act and still could have illusions about people before you knew what they were, what they thought, how they felt. No wonder you love slipping into boy to get rid of the curse. That kind of ambition can be stressful. He manages to say without sounding patronizing. No wonder you no wonder you manhandled that poor sandbag so. You catch yourself halfway through the laugh, but it's late to stop it. It's not as fun when it doesn't hit back though. Makes me feel like a bit of a bully. You you are not sure where that came from. Just being around Ortega makes you question your current goals. Dangerous. But on the other hand, it keeps you honest. Questioning your life is what led you here in the first place. You can't just stop now. Want to spar then? He offers, which is an absurd propos- pro- pro- pros- proposition or something. Proposition considering his size. He looks sheepish enough sheepish enough a moment later that it's obvious he's realized it as well. I can at least give you some pads to hit, or a target that can take a punch. Okay, you have to admit that. Okay, you have to admit that is tempting prospect. That is a tempting prospect. Not just because you might want to hit Ortega, but because that would mean you could judge his current abilities. Sure, if you feel like you're up to it. Right. Sure, if you feel like you're up to it. You wipe your smiling face with a towel before giving him a challenging look. Wouldn't have asked otherwise. I'm Ortega, by the way. Rickard, Rickard, Ricardo Ortega. Oh, Ricardo Ortega. Boy, you smile with a. I just love how I put the name. It's like, hi, I'm Ricardo Ortega. I'm just like, boy. Boy, you reply with a smile. Yes, I do. Now, let's get it. Let's get to it. I'll get the pads. Ortega turns around, giving you a moment to reflect on what you just agreed to. Your heart has started speeding up, and you're not sure if it's an anticipation of a fight or if it is because of an enormity of what you're about to do. I don't know, either. Why did you agree to this? Why are you taking this risk when it would have been so much easier just to walk away and never return? I miss him, even if it's not real. Maybe we can be friends again. I see what I'll see what shape he's in. Whether he's got more mods. I need to release some frustration. This is the best way. No, I want to observe or take a. We haven't met. I want to see what he's like. So if I do verse him, I know what he's going to be like. It's been years since you last saw Ortega move in the flesh, and you can only learn so much from television screens. Training with him means you can see how he moves, and if you are lucky, you can pick up clues to new mods, even though most of them are camouflaged with synth skins, synthetic skins, I'm guessing. They won't feel the same as real flesh. Right, okay. A few well placed punches should give you a better idea of what you are up against. Maybe this is exactly what you need to clear your head, even if you have to wear a mask all the while. As Ortega returns, you can feel your smile growing in anticipation to fight ahead. Keeping your friends close but your enemies closer has never been more apt. Next chapter. 8 days later, the world is dark. Wait, 8 days later is what happened to the fight. I wanted to see what happened to the. Oh, okay, whatever. The world is dark. The blindfold smells faintly of disinfectant. Or maybe that's just the air in here. Dr. Morton has been leading you by the hand for what feels like an hour now, though it is probably a fraction of that. A fraction of that. Time passes differently when it's dark. You know this intimately or something. Luckily, you are in Boy's body, so it is easier to chase away the memories that threaten to resurface. Instead, you focus on trying to figure out where he is leading you. A short drive at first, then the dank smell of the city. No direct sunlight, so you guess you might have gotten out of the car indoors, maybe in a warehouse or garage. Then there were stairs in a corridor which smelled of chemicals, underground somewhere, but where exactly? You have no idea. Not that it matters. Dr. Mortem can keep his secrets as long as he delivers what was promised. Are, are we there yet? You ask, echoing pop culture reference you never really were a part of. Indeed, we are, Monsieur. 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 Or something. A door closes and the fans begin to hum, erasing all lingering outside stench. You can remove the blindfold now. Pulling off the fabric, you can't help being annoyed at the inconvenience, understanding the need for secrecy, seeing the humor in the situation. Being annoyed at the inconvenience, seeing the humor in the situation. Okay, let's go with the third one. You're lucky I'm not Cossack. You grimace. Grimace? Grimace a little, shaking your head to get your bearings back. Would have hated to throw up all over your fancy car. Oh, that was my assistant's car. It would be, it would have, it would have been fine. Dr. Morton smiles widely, waving away any worries. I didn't know you had assistants. You look around, but the two of you are alone in the lab. I can, I can hand, I can't handle all the business I get on my own, and I plan to stay in business for a very long time. Speaking of business, you can't stop your eyes from widening as you step forward. Now that they have adapted to the light, it is impossible to overlook the centerpiece of the room. Is that? Yes, yes, it is. Dr. Mortem walks over to the massive holographic screen hovering there, running his hand through the air to zoom in on the armored cinematic schematics. Is that was how it's spelled? Schematics. The greenish light makes his his normally warm black skin take on an odd midnight hue, hue, and you find yourself wondering how Boy would look surrounded by that glow. Want to get a closer look? He asked, as he was reading your mind. You nod quietly, stepping forward so you could be surrounded by the screens. The greenish beam scans your hand when you hold it out, tracing the pattern of an armored glove over it. Oh, okay, this is it. What you have invested so much time and effort. Your new face, your new identity, your new life. So, what do you think? Dr. Mortem taps his finger into the air, causing the armor to split apart before coming together again into a dazzling kaleidoscopic display or whatever. Do you think your boss will be happy? That depends. You manage to keep a straight face, making sure not to look too eager. This is not the body that will fit in it, and it wouldn't do too much more suspects that you are anything but a glorified assistant. Tell me about it. Of course, Monsieur. Monsieur. Or something, I don't know. Another wave of his hand. The elegant fingers as precise as a surgeon's. You realize that he most likely has the touch pad somewhere in his hands. Okay. Yep. Are they surgically implanted under the skin? Perhaps the nails are fake. Or he's actually wearing skin gloves. Similar to the ones that are used to fake fingerprints. In either case, the lack of physical control would make it harder for an intruder to interface with the system. Okay, good to know. The armor is sandwiched laminia pastille over 2 layers of fiber mesh. The sleek I can't even say the words. I'm really bad at making up words, to be honest. Securities take shape in front of you as you are facing the real thing, but it is painted in greenish light instead of the dull plasteel gray. The plasteel is flexible in its relaxed state, giving the wearer a good range of movement, but if triggered, it will go rigid to absorb the impact. The mesh has a good resistance to tearing attacks. The combination should be able to stand up to the standard LDPD weapons with ease. And punches? You ask? Remembering the sight of Marshall Steele's charging down the street in his armor. That would depend on the punch. He admits with a shrug. I can reinforce the armor with electro-reactive shielding as well, which would give more protection, but that would mean more of a drain on the power cell. You might want the output from other options. Other options, speed, for example. As it is, the armor does not hinder the wearer, but it would be an easy matter to also boost performance. Right now, there is space for the pair of small jump jets, which would assist leaping and enable busting bursts of increased speed over short distance. Are those Are those rocket boots? You frown a little at the design, running your finger through it so the hologram shivers out of focus. Boots and back. Both are needed for balance. There is not enough room for stabilizers without turning it into a proper wingsuit. And that wasn't what your boss ordered. True, you agree, pondering your options. What else? Well, if we're talking about increasing the bulk of the armor, there is always the possibility of adding an exoskeleton. Really? You ask? Raising an eyebrow? Not a military one, of course, but it would be possible to add one of lightweight sport model, Perhaps he catches the look on your face because he quickly continues. Do not expect it to turn into the red behemoth, Monsieur. I can't work miracles without increasing the size. I'm not the one who's going to be using the ace armor, you point out. I know. And speaking of which, next! Mortem's hand wait, pull apart and the hologram zooms in, focusing on the massive glove on the left hand. The main weapon of the suit is, of course, going to be the nanovolves. I was right, by the way. It was not hard to reprogram the nasty little creatures. Flesh was flesh will be safe from them now, but anything inorganic, deciding decidedly less so. I didn't really get anything about that, but I know that he just reprogrammed the rat brains or whatever. Good, you say with a nod. And the control? Working as intended. The targeting web you liberated. Wait, the targeting web you liberated was not hard to repurpose, though the wearer still has to be PSI sensitive to interface with it. The web will aid greatly in keeping the nanowolves dormant when they are not needed. And nobody wants another nano surge. Very true. Very true. I can't even talk. Very true that. Dr. Monum pursues his lips for a moment. Looking thoughtful, I'm fairly certain that if I supercool the central chamber, that that can clear up the interface process quite a bit, making it easier for the wearer to access the true power of the targeting web. Sort of like a telepathic booster. More like reducing the friction between minds. But the effects will be similar. As it is, it requires a lot of effort to use the nanovores. This process would make it easier. And let me guess, it also requires energy? You can't have everything you want in this armor, monsieur. Since your boss did not give me either the time or the money to do that, I suppose things can be modified at a later stage as well. Possible, we are already overloading the battery capacity of the suit with the current Celith cells. However, if I could have access to the proper fusion reactor, would that be safe? Would that really be safe? Monsieur, your boss is a man, he says, giving you a questioning look, but you either neither deny nor confirm the guess. A man who is willing to carry a handful of prime novovores into battle. I hardly think safety is one of his main concerns. That is true, you agree. Are there other options? Not without compromising the time frame. And my boss would not want that. You can already feel like beginning to catch up with you, and to wait longer would mean greater chances of failure. It's now or never. So which options should I go ahead and implant? Go ahead and implantment then. Or do you want to speak with your boss first? No, you say, shaking your head. I am trusted to make these decisions. To pretend to go and ask someone for advice would mean further delays. And you have waited long enough. What can feasibly be added in time? I would say two options could work, as I think that is within the operating parameter of the power source. Any preference? Decisions! Stronger armor and shielding, enhanced speed and jump jets, and exoskeleton for strength telepathic boosters. Oh, wait. After careful consideration, your pick. I could go stronger, enhanced speed and jumps, and then there's no point in me having a boosted telepathic system. Oh, my body is not, because this is going to my original body. My name's body, right? So I could use speed and jump jets as an escape route Telepathic boosters. I don't know if telepathic boosters will actually work. Let's go with speed and jump jets. Enhanced speed and jump jets. These suits can be rather clunky. I was told to make sure that it won't slow the wearer's reaction down. Even if, even if, I can't speak for someone. Even if you are not at your peak, you're always relied on agility and reflexes. You don't want to get into something that will slow your reaction too much. So, as that might be the difference between success and failure. Both Lady Argent and Ortega are fast, and you need to be able to keep with them. Luckily, Harold, who might technically be the fastest, is less experienced than the others. If you judge your fight with him correctly, have no fear, Monsieur. This suit won't hinder movement. Rather the opposite. In fact, Dr. Mordum looks so pleased with himself that you are inclined to believe him. I feel like I should give a voiceover. Like, I've been reading this for a while, like 10 episodes now. This is episode 10 probably. I should really start putting in voiceovers and really get into it. After careful consideration, you pick. What do I pick? A strong group of two. So, alright, I have two options. Oh, telepathic booster, man. Why not? I give myself some telepathic boosting. Okay, who is this? If there really is a way to lessen the interference of the telepathic controls, I'm sure my boss would appreciate it. You are going to be doing a lot of jiggling, jiggling, what jiggling, juggling as it is. Keeping the nine of wolves under control requires concentration, and even if you can use the Rat King to deal with a lot of the mundane upkeep, it is going to be different in a fight. This would allow you to be more reliant on your telepathic gifts during the action, and honestly, you like it best that way. Please, Montour. I've worked with telepathic engineering before. It is a rare gift, but not unheard of. I know what I'm doing. Dr. Mortem also sounds insulted. That sounds good, you say. Looking at the screens already changing under Dr. Mortem's agile fingers, and the overall design aesthetics. Wait, and the overall design aesthetics. I can't say this thing. No changes there, you say, resisting the urge to reach up and touch the holographic representation of your hopes and nightmares. My boss still wants it looking functional without useless ornamentation, imposing like a true conqueror, terrifying like a monstrous creature from beyond, mysterious and featureless. Okay. Let's go terrifying. I like that option. People should fear you. If you do that, half of the battle is already won. Is won already. You remember far too well how it feels to be on the other side. How your stomach would contract and your palms grow damp. Not this time. This time, you are the one who will cause the nightmares and make people back away in fear. You think it will feel as good as you hope. I still think it would have been easier if I could have talked to them directly. Dr. Mortem shuts off the hologram displays with a decisive gestures, smiling a little at you. In my line of business, I've learned that that's often the only way to avoid complaints. That and getting everything in writing. The laugh is short and amused. I would have thought that your line of work is also includes respecting your client's privacy. You can't help sounding rather dry. He's been a little too curious for your liking. Of course, Monsieur. I just don't want any misunderstanding. As you can imagine, I have no wish to end up on their bad side. If that's what worries you, you can rest easy. You shrug or whatever, feeling a little awkward standing here in his lab talking about yourself. I'll be the one bearing the brunt of any complaints. Maybe that is what worries me, he says with a soft sigh. I know all about the dangers in your line of work. It's not easy being stuck in the middle. Is he really interested in me? I steer the conversation toward the personals. I keep it safe and focus on the business. Keep it safe, focus on the business, because then I don't need any people, any connections. He might find out who the hell I am. Anyway, what's the time? 40. Okay, let's finish reading a few more. Thank you for your concern, but I told you I can take care of myself, you repeat, hardening your voice a little to drive home the point. As you say, Monsieur. Besides, I'm not being paid to give good advice, am I? For this price, maybe you should include that for free. For this price, maybe you should include that for free. It is a joke that neither of you are laughing at. I could throw her in a cape. There is a moment's pause as you both look at each other while you try to tell if he's serious. A cape? Really? He hadn't considered one before. It's a fashion choice, or that you went out of style years ago. Okay. It fits. It fits very well into the theme, actually. Dr. Montum says, turning the screens back on again. Your boss wants this thing to be terrifying, and a cape could help make the right impression. Wait, the right back into people's memory of the predator. The right back into people's memory of the Pizzeria or the Mad Machine. Imagine those two without a cape. I don't know who's talking. Besides, cape technologies has come a long way since 80s. With the new nanoweaves, even a light cape would tear easily, and force sensitive clips ensure that it comes off. It comes off if it gets stuck. You watch the image of the armor rotating in the air as Dr. Modem adds a variety of capes to the silk image. There's a look of almost childish joy on his face that makes it hard not to smile in return. I didn't know you were so fond of capes, you tease. I'm not. There's a pause. No, there's a pause and a sheepish shrug. All right, maybe I am. It adds a sense of style, and that I feel most people these days lack. Fine, add the cape. No, forget it. Okay, fine, add the cape. I don't care. Fine, add it. Achievement, step 3. Okay. Okay, what's the time? Can I read this? Fine, you say with a sigh. Add the cape. I suppose if the boss hates it, it's removable. Oh, nobody can hate a cape once they tried one on in front of the mirror. Dr. Mortem looks too pleased with himself. Really? You cross your arms and raised an eyebrow. Where's yours? That's not how it works, Monsieur. Scientists wear coats. Capes are for heroes and villains. He nods sagely. I guess I'll have to take your word for it. You have had you've have a you have a hard time not laughing, which takes you a bit by surprise. It's been a long time since you felt this human. Are you finding something funny, Monsieur? Dr. Mortem looks at your suppressed myth with fond amusement. Not really, you protest, but your eyes are drawn into the projection of the suit still hovering in the middle of the room, like a mirage. I guess I just feel you hesitate for a moment, trying to figure out what you're really gonna really feel. Sad that this collaboration is ending soon. Nervous that things won't go as planned. Impatient to get the show. Impatient. Let's go with the impatient part. I guess I'm just impatient. You say with a deep sigh. This feels like it's taken forever. Too long. You have been caught between moments, unable to finish the step you started taking years ago. Caught in the non-man's land between action and inactions. I can understand that, but I swear I've been pushing forward as Oh wait, no, that's still Dr. Mortem. I wish it would say who's talking. I can understand that, but I swear I've been pushing forward as hard as I can, without compromising quality. My voiceover is not too good. My role playing. I know you sigh a little because it feels worse the closer you get. You want the waiting part over with so bad that you could scream. In that case, how about continuing this? Pleasant start. In that case, how about continuing this discussion somewhere more pleasant? Let's say over a drink. I thought you had a job to do. Otherwise, talk to about this. Alright. I thought you had a job to do. Wasn't that the point of this meeting? It was. But it's surely one night off won't hurt. We can discuss some of these finer details over drinks. I have a time of drink. Sorry, I'll have to decline. No, let's keep this purely professional. No, let's keep this purely professional. No, no, no. Oh, no, 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 no. Okay, let's stop there. I won't read this part, but oh well. That was it for Fallen Hero Rebirth. Getting pretty spicy. You know, spicy. And yeah, it was a suit. I thought it was a. Well, the suit is the weapon, so yeah, that's his beat. Oh well. That'd be funny if they actually showed a picture of it. The story is getting quite very interesting, actually. Though from the starting point it wasn't that interesting, but now it is really getting like the momentum. You turning into a villain, trying to get into everything. We like it. Terrifying and fearless. Beating up everybody you want, eh? From hero to villain because your mind's screwed over and destroyed. Anyway, that's this episode of Fallen Hero Rebirth. Thank you so much for watching, and hopefully I make more videos in the future. I'll probably try and do voiceovers for character lines, though it'll be me pausing for a few seconds. So, just to see who's talking. I wish they would say who's talking, at least, not like say the quote, then this guy said it. But hey, I'll just have to guess. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this episode. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye!